all know, time travel is a popular element in science fiction, fantasy, and movies. This has been implemented into countless movies and franchises with varying degrees of success, but the question remains, is time travel a smart move for movies? Some movies, like Back to the Future, start off with time travel at the basis of their plot and don't revolve around rebooting. But back in 2009, J.J. Abrams triumphantly brought Star Trek back into the current pop culture with the release of Star Trek, Star Trek Into Darkness, and Star Trek Beyond, following Spock, Kirk, Bones, Uhura, Scotty and Chekhov, with returning villains like Khan, the Romulans, the Klingons, and especially Into Darkness, took inspirations from older movies like Wrath of Khan. For obvious reasons, it had a totally different cast. Zachary Quinto, Chris Pine, Karl Urban, Zoe Saldana, Chris Pegg, and Anton Yelchin, a few of the main headlines. Yet, it took place in a totally different timeline to the original series: Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager and Enterprise, and all their spin-off movies. Dislike Marvel or DC, there are not multiple universes to simply alternate between. Like Marvel has Earth 616 as their so-called main universe, Earth 1610 being the Ultimate Universe, and Earth 199999, so 5 nines, I may have said 6 or 4, I don't know, as the MCU, with myriad alternate realities and timelines to go with these more famous universes. Because of this, they had to resort to time travel. As Spock said, due to his and Nero's time travel, this caused the alternate timeline dubbed the Kelvin timeline, named after George Samuel Kirk's ship, the USS Kelvin. During the movie, there were references to the original timeline as Leonard Nimoy made a cameo as the original Spock. However, dislike some reboots, the original timeline is not obsolete, as Star Trek Discovery is set to take place in the original timeline. Was the Kelvin timeline just to softly reboot the franchise, to breathe fresh air into the franchise, or to simply make new movies and money without beating the dead horse that is the Star Trek universe? Movie franchise, not the universe. That still has its fans. In 2014, Bryan Singer returned to the X-Men franchise after leaving X-Men: The Last Stand for Superman Returns midway through production, and he decided to make X-Men Days of Future Past, which was lifted from Uncanny X-Men issues 142 to 141 to 142, and was a huge success. Now, many raised the question whether this was as they ran out of ideas, and he wanted to repeat the basic outlines, a team origin, individual origins and spin-offs, etc. But Singer admitted to doing this to try and rectify the mistakes of X-Men: The Last Stand, Origins, and the continuity errors of First Class. The movies we've had since, some of them are solo movies like Deadpool and Logan, with Deadpool 2 and Dark Phoenix coming up, X-Men Apocalypse, which is effectively the team origin of the more famous X-Men since First Class, and any events prior to 1973 remain the same. As well as this, it offered a short updated origin of Wolverine, and we'll be getting more team origin movies in New Mutants next year. But, as you can see, these all meet the previous predictions, so yes, they are doing, relatively speaking, the same thing. However, this has gotten off topic, as we're here to discuss time travel, not alternate timelines and realities. Prime example is in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Harry and Hermione used the time turner given to them by Professor Dumbledore, and it didn't affect the timeline in the saga, but did give a more interesting element in a criminally underrated fantasy movie. This comes to the conclusion that time travel is a necessary element of countless classics and new and upcoming movies alike. However, the more debatable topic is rebooting a franchise via alternate realities. For example, Star Trek was going to get rebooted one way or another, so it should have made sense for it to revolve around the same set of characters. For familiarity, I can't say that, as new fans needed to be made, though it must not contradict the already existing timeline and lore. So, to fit this into what I've dubbed the Trekverse, they'd started out in the original Trekverse, copyrighted by the chosen Critic, by the way. But they changed to the Kelvin timeline, though Into Darkness was widely considered to have ripped off Wrath of Khan. Like when Kirk is on the edge of near death, Spock puts his hand on the glass, likewise Kirk in both movies. Days of Future Past used this to avoid overcrowding the original timeline, as many characters died out or had limited options for future installments, but Singer did have a lot to do with the decision. As I'm sure you've all heard, there's a fan theory, or some of you have heard, that Snoke is Kylo Ren from the future, but it was sceptical that this would create a new element in the saga that simply doesn't belong in it. The evidence for this theory is there, But if they introduce time travel into Star Wars, it could change everything, and I doubt Disney would do anything to throw Discord into their new canon. Anyway, they're my thoughts on time travel in movies. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, share, and suggest more videos. And if your video is chosen, you will get a shout out. And towards the end, I just put my little thoughts on a large theory, which actually gave me the idea to do this video. It's not about Star Wars. I might do that on my other channel, one dedicated to this theory, but I won't right now. And just my thinking. So yes, in the end, I do think time travel is incredibly necessary. Now, I'm not going to get bogged down in the physics of time travel and how it doesn't actually make any sense. That's not what I'm here to discuss. I'm here to discuss whether or not it is a good option for movies, and I say it is yes. Alternate realities sometimes can just seem like they've run out of ideas, so they just start from zero again. But sometimes it's actually alright. Anyway, they're my thoughts. Chosen Critic, out.